unending process. Okay, so during this period that the Mauryan Empire would be having centralized tendency. If you see the map again, this is the period of Chandragupta Maurya. So just have a look over this map. So this is the Magadh, okay, and this Magadh is overlooking to each of the region. In the last lecture, I have told you that how each region had a single governor who used to assist the central kingdom. Okay, now each of this governor used to have the budgetary process, like what is implemented in this particular state. Like for example, Saurashtra would be having one governor, Avanti would be having one governor, Patala would be having one governor, and they would be given a time frame, like for example 6 months, 1 year. Okay, now this 1 year is not the present calendar which we are following. It was the calendar according to the Hindu calendar. Okay, so here the 1 year calendar, okay, each and every aspect needs to be reported towards the central administration. Now this was rule setted by the Arthashastra only. Now this is evident through the literary sources of Arthashastra, but you will see some of the impacts of it even in the present date. Now let's take an example of budget or the economic survey. Now in present day we calculate the budget. Now here each of the state first gives all the evidences, all the statistics and the status of the survey which they calculate at the ground level, and then they provide it to the central government, and then the central government publishes the public budget, right? Now in the similar way it was done for this regions also during the Mauryan period, and that is why we'll see that it was completely centralized administration. It was completely centralized administration. If we study in the present sense, okay, now India is having some mixed kind of, okay, although it is mixed also and somewhat federal also. It is a mixture of both, okay. But during this Mauryan period, we'll see that the administration is completely centralized administration, okay. And here the king was called as the Ekrat or the Chakravarti. Okay, and that is why the kings who would be given the title as the Chakravarti, if you have local sources, okay, the local sources or the local text, you will see that the Ekrat Ashoka or the Ekrat Chandragupta, okay, in this way the kings would be named. Okay, now this is the title given to the king. This was the title given to the king during the Magadh Empire, or especially during the Mauryan period. Okay, now the socio-political and the economical developments were at the high peak during this period. Now this period is of 325 to 185. Okay, so let us study one by one. Okay, now this Shishunaga dynasty or the Nanda dynasty was completely under the same capital of the Pataliputra, which was converted from Rajgriha during the Ujjain period. Now if you revisit the previous sessions, if you have not, please go and revisit. You will see that during the King Ujjain of Haranyaka dynasty, okay, converted capital of Rajgriha to Pataliputra. And it was during the Nanda dynasty when you will see that the Avanti was totally decreased, or the Avanti has totally deceased their power, and the Pataliputra hence became more powerful. Okay, so here Pataliputra was considered as the centralized capital of every dynamics which are happening in the Indian subcontinent. Okay, this we have discussed in the previous sessions also. Okay, now the first is the Parishishta Parvan by Hemachandra. Okay, now the Parishishta Parvan is the literature. okay, written by the Hemachandra. Now Hemachandra was also a courtman which was present during the Chandragupta period. Okay, now Chandragupta as the grandson of the chief of the peacock, okay, and that is why, okay, he was known as Chandragupta, or that is why he was known as a Chandragupta Mauryan. Now what is meant by Mauryan? Maurya, okay, Maurya means peacock, right? And that is why, according to the Hemachandra, Chandragupta Maurya is a grandson of the chief of Peacock Thames clan, and that is why he is known as the Mauryan. Okay, that is why the title is given as the Mauryan. Okay, now the most important war which was fought by the Chandragupta Maurya was with the Seleucus Nicator during the 305 BC at the Hindu Kush region. Okay, now here the Hindu Kush region was being expanded during the Chandragupta period. Like if you see again in the map, okay, see this Hindu Kush region. Okay, now up till the Nanda dynasty it was here. Okay, and Chandragupta Maurya will try to expand it more further. Okay, so here you will see that the Chandragupta Maurya would be concentrating, as I have told, he would be concentrating upon the Uttarapatha trading route, and that is why he will try to conquer each of the northern province. Okay, so here he would be having the war with Seleucus Nicator, which was the significant war and the first of its kind of war, where he expanded his empire beyond the northwestern region. Okay, he ceded the territory of the Arakosia, that is Kandahar, which is present in the present Afghanistan. Okay, then the Gedrosia, okay, South Balochistan. So north and the south, both north and the south. Let me show you. North, okay, and the south, both. Okay, so he expanded his territory very vastly. Okay, and this Indian and Afghan subcontinent for the first time was acquired by the Indian king after the Alexander. Okay, so here the Greek historians write about the Chandragupta Maurya, the victory of Chandragupta Maurya, and this Greek historians are the Megasthenes and the Dionysius. Okay, after that the Chandragupta is also the disciple of Bhadrabahu. Okay, Chandragupta is also the disciple of the Bhadrabahu. Okay, so in this way Chandragupta Maurya, okay, after having the war with the Seleucus Nicator, now Seleucus Nicator is again a Greek warrior. Okay, so Seleucus Nicator will also will talk about, or the Greek people would also praise the capacity of Chandragupta Maurya, ki how intelligent he is, how active he is, how he looks towards the kingdom, how he looks towards his people, okay, his citizens of the kingdom. Okay, everything he has written, and it is through the text of the Megasthenes and the Dionysius where we come to know about the legacy of Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, now after that it is Bindusara. Okay, after that it is Bindusara. Now the Bindusara is also known as the Amitraghata. Amitraghata means the one person who will slay enemy into the ghat or into the valley. Okay, that is Amitraghata. Okay, the slayer of the enemies. Okay, and this concept or this terminology or this title to Bindusara is given in the Mahabhashya Kavya. Now Mahabhashya Kavya is a poet. Okay, it is a poet, and sometimes it is also taken into the plays, drama or the plays. Okay, so here the Bindusara is called as the Amitraghata. Okay, now he brought all the 16 Mahajanapadas, into the single umbrella, into the single roof. Okay, and that is why it is during his Bindusara's period, it is said that the Mauryan Empire existed between the two seas. Okay, the land between the two seas. Okay, in many of the texts, it is said that the Mauryan Empire is the empire, or it is the land between the two seas. So here it is denoted as if it is a complete island where the economy has been flourishing, the administration is quite stronger, the rulers are stronger, okay, and there is a development of art and culture in a very good pace over this time. Okay, so like in the previous dynasties, we have seen that the military would be expanding, the kingdom would be expanding, the revenue would be expanding, but we find very less crafts and the artifacts. Okay, just we saw the Junagadh inscription or some another coins or inscriptions, but during the Mauryan age, okay, the art and crafts will take the different zenith. Okay, so here this period is called as the peak of the Magad period. Okay, now here the Bindusara, okay, he joined the Ajivika sect. Okay, now what is Ajivika sect? Now the Ajivika sect, now Ajivikas are the people who preach or who gives the knowledge of Jainist philosophy. Okay, so this Ajivikas, okay, would be residing over all the region of the Mauryan Empire. Okay, so you will see that the Mauryan Empire would be majorly, at the initial stage, it would be majorly tilted towards the Jainism, and after that it would be tilted towards the Buddhism. Okay, so here firstly the Ajivikas, okay, the Ajivikas would be granted with the living facilities through the caves. Okay, the caves through any particular kind of rock cut architecture. So what were this rock cut architecture we would be seeing? Okay, but just remember that the Ajivikas would be residing very freely and frankly during this period, especially during the Chandragupta Maurya and the Bindusara period also. Okay,